Hello students, welcome back to Steve Vidyalakshmi Metric Higher Secondary School YouTube channel. Students, நம்ம ஸ்கூல் சார்பாக யூடியூப் சேனல்ஸில் இப்போ கிளாஸ் 12 ஃபிசிக்ஸ் யூனிட் 1 எலக்ட்ரோஸ்டாட்டிக்ஸ் சம்மந்தமான வீடியோஸ்லாம் நம்ம அப்லோட் பண்ணிகிட்ருக்கோம். அண்ட் திஸ் இஸ் our 9th session here. And today we are going to discuss about how lightning arrestor is working and how Van de Graaff generator is working. Please watch our YouTube channel continuously and give feedback to us. And now let us discuss the charge distribution, lightning arrestor and Van de Graaff generator. You just imagine there are two spheres with different radius. There are two spheres with different radii. You just see that R1 is greater than R2. But they are connected by a thin wire. They are connected by a thin wire. If they are given charges, the potential will be the same because they are connected. As they are connected, the potential will be the same on the surface of the metallic spheres because they are connected. If they are not connected, in case if they are not connected, if these two metallic spheres are separate, then if they are given charges, even if the equal amount of charges are given also, the potential will be different because potential is inversely proportional to distance, isn't it? Here it is different radius, therefore potential will differ. But in this case, as they are connected, the potential will be the same. For example, potential at this point, that is V suffix A will be equal to 1 divided by 4 pi epsilon naught Q1 divided by R1, This will be the potential. This will be the potential at this point. Potential at that point will be V suffix B is equal to 1 divided by 4 pi epsilon naught Q2 by R2, where V is the electric potential, epsilon naught is permittivity. 8.854 into 10 power minus 12. 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught value is 9 into 10 power 9. Q1 charge on the metallic sphere here, Q2 charge on the metallic sphere with the smaller radius R2. R1 radius of this sphere A, R2 radius of the sphere B. It's very clear from here that R1 is greater than R2. Now, as these two are connected through a conducting wire, the potential will be the same. So, we can write that V suffix A, potential on the surface of the sphere A will be equal to potential on the surface of the B. So, we can write that 1 divided by 4 pi epsilon naught Q1 divided by R1 is equal to 1 divided by 4 pi epsilon naught Q2 divided by R2, These two potential will be the same. So, 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught may get cancelled on either side. Then we get Q1 by R1 is equal to Q2 by R2. Q1 by R1 is equal to Q2 by R2. Q charge here, Q is equal to sigma into A. Q total charge on the sphere, Q. Sigma is charge density, charge per unit area. And A is total area, So, Q is equal to sigma into A. Q1 is equal to sigma 1 into A1. Okay. And here Q2 is equal to sigma 2 A2. It is nothing but area. Here. Okay. So, you can write that instead of Q1, we can write sigma 1 and the area of the first sphere, area of the sphere A, let us take A suffix A divided by R1, that is equal to Q2. charge here, that is equal to sigma 2 area of the sphere B, area of the sphere B divided by R2, divided by R2. And we can write this sigma 1 area of the sphere, 4 pi r square, 4 pi r square, 4 pi r square, r1 square, because radius of the sphere A is r1, therefore r1 square divided by, already we have r1 here, r1 is equal to sigma 2 4 pi r2 square divided by r2, r2 square divided by r2. Sigma 2 is the charge density here, A sub xb, that is area of the sphere B, and r2 radius of the sphere B, 4 pi r square area of the sphere. Then we get r1, when r1 gets cancelled, r2 gets cancelled, 4 pi gets cancelled. Then we get sigma 1 into r1 is equal to sigma 2 into r2. We get sigma 1 into r1 equal to sigma 2 into r2. So we can write sigma into r will be a constant, sigma into r will be a constant, sigma into r will be a constant, or we can write that sigma is inversely proportional to radius, sigma is inversely proportional to radius. This is applicable only when these two spheres, metallic spheres, charged spheres, are connected by a wire, When it is not connected, this is not applicable. Okay. This is about distribution of charges on metallic spheres when they are connected. Potential on the surface of the sphere A is equal to 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught q1 by r1. Potential on the surface of the B is 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught q2 by r2. VA equal to VB, then we write 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught q1 by r1 equal to 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught q2 by r2. 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught, 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught get cancelled. Then q1 by r1 equal to q2 by r2. Q is equal to sigma into A. Q is total charge on the surface of the sphere. Sigma, charge density, charge per unit area. It is nothing but charge per unit area. Charge per unit area. Then its unit will be, what is Q? What is sigma? Sigma is nothing but charge per unit area. Sigma is nothing but charge per unit area. So charge, okay, unit for charge is coulomb. Unit for charge is coulomb. Area meter square. Therefore, its unit will be coulomb per meter square. Coulomb per meter square. Charge density, charge per unit area. Unit for charge is coulomb. For area, it's meter square. Therefore, coulomb meter square. Lambda, linear charge density. Charge per unit length. So, coulomb per meter. And we use rho for charge density per unit volume. Charge per unit volume, rho. That is charge per unit volume. So, coulomb per meter cube. In this case, it is charge per unit area, that is coulomb per meter square. And this is for area of a sphere. Volume of a sphere is 4 by 3 pi r cube. Volume of a sphere 4 by 3 pi r cube. Area of sphere 4 pi r square. Then we get sigma 1 into r1 equal to sigma 2 into r2. So we can write that sigma into r is a constant, or we can also write that sigma is inversely proportional to r. If r is less, if radius is less, charge density will be more. If radius is big, charge density will be less. Sigma is inversely proportional to r. This is what we understand from this. Okay. We just keep this in mind that sigma is inversely proportional to r. Sigma is inversely proportional to r. What we got that? We got that sigma is inversely proportional to r. Sigma, charge density, is inversely proportional to radius. Sigma into r is a constant. Sigma is inversely proportional to r. R. You just see here, if you just treat this as a sphere, and if you just treat this as a sphere, you could see that charges, the number of charges or charge density is less here, and charge density is more here. Charge density is more here. Okay. So this equation is verified here. Charge density is less, area is more, charge density is less because charge is distributed to a wider space. Here, the sharp edges, they have more charges, charge density is more, concentration of charges are more in these places. For a conductor, you just imagine this is a wire like, and if a conductor has a sharp point like this, then what will happen? The charges, concentration of charges will be more here. Concentration of charges will be more. Charge density will be more. As the cross-sectional area is less, charge density is more. Sigma into R is a constant. Sigma is inversely proportional to R. If we consider this, imagine this is a not irregular shaped conductor, and charges are distributed like this. If you are imagining a sphere inside the conductor, as there are no charge enclosed by the surface, electric field will be zero inside. Flux will also be zero inside. Electric field will be zero inside. No electric field will be there inside. Okay. Charges are on the surface. You see that the positive charges are here. Positive charges are there, and look at the arrow mark. Okay. Electric direction of arrow mark. Okay. It's away from positive charges. According to properties of lines of force, force line starts at positive, terminate at negative. Force line starts at positive charges, so that you can understand from the graph, from the arrow mark. So what we understand from this is that in a conductor, if there are sharp points, charge density will be more. Generally what happens that for action of points, as the charge density is more, the charges get leaked to the atmosphere. Okay. Leakage of charges at the sharp points of the conductor is known as action of points or corona discharge. Leakage of charges at the sharp points of the charged conductor. Generally this leakage of charges takes place only at the sharp. Even though the charges are there at different parts of the conductor, the leakage of charges will take place only at these points, especially for the points like this, sharp points are there. What will happen? The air molecules close to this get ionized. So what will happen? So positive and negative ions will be developed there. This positive and positive get repelled, this goes away, and this positive and negative get neutralization will take place. So gradually charges present at the sharp points will get leaked to the atmosphere. So leakage of charges at the sharp points of a charged conductor is known as action of points or corona discharge. Okay. In the air molecules, ionization takes place. So positive and negative ions will be developed there. These positive and positive, there will be force of repulsion, Coulomb's law. There will be force of repulsion. Like charges repel each other. Force of attraction or repulsion between charges is directly proportional to product of the charges and inversely proportional to square of the distance between the charges. Coulomb's law of electrostatics. It is Coulomb's inverse law, inverse square law. The positive charges get repelled, whereas the negative charges they get attracted. Here, okay, that neutralization will take place. So anyhow, the charges present here are leaked to the atmosphere. Leakage of charges at the sharp points of the charged conductor. At the sharp points on the charged conductor is known as action of points. It is also known as corona discharge. Now this concept is applied in a lightning arrestor. Lightning, we must have seen lightning, isn't it? Lightning. flash, thunder, the sound. Okay, when lightning takes place, actually when the clouds are moving fast, the rainy clouds, nimbus, the rainy clouds when they move fast, imagine a cloud where it is negatively charged, and sometimes clouds with different charges at different layers, okay, based on the size and speed and the amount of water molecules present in the clouds. And then when these charges are moving, what happens? The excess charges, when different clouds collide also, excess charges will be leaked out. During that lightning, just like this. Okay, I hope you all know this building. Okay, this building. Okay, Eiffel Tower in France, Paris. Eiffel Tower, Paris, France. This lightning, you see the flash. We see the flash, lightning, thunder. We get the thunder, the sound. We get the sound also, isn't it? Actually, what we do that we see the flash first, and then we close our ears to avoid the huge sound, correct? To avoid the thunder. Actually, both occur at the same time. When the clouds collide, both occur at the same time. Velocity of sound is less than the velocity of light. Velocity of light is 3 into 10 power 8 meter per second. Velocity of light is 3 into 10 power 8 meter per second. Whereas velocity of sound, velocity of light, okay, velocity of sound is in air, it is almost 340 meter per second. It is 340 meter per second. Velocity of light is 3 into 10 power 8 meter per second. Velocity of sound is in air, it's approximately 340 meter per second. You just compare these two, it's very, very less. Velocity of sound is very, very less. So, we see the light first, we see the flash first, and we hear the sound after some time, okay, after a few seconds or microseconds. Now, if when a positive charge, when a cloud comes like this, okay, when a cloud is coming very close like this, the atmosphere, and like this we fix the lightning arrestor on the top of buildings. Imagine there is a cloud with a negatively charged cloud at the bottom. At the bottom of the cloud, negative charges are there. You just imagine. What will happen? These negative charges, they induce positive charges in the sharp edges of the lightning arrestor. Lightning arrestor is made up of conductor. It should be made up of a conductor. Positive charges. Okay. And as there are sharp points like this, concentration of charges will be more at the sharp edge. At these points, concentration of charges will be more. And what happens? The air molecules close to that get ionized. The air molecules close to this get ionized here. Air molecules get ionized. So, positive and negative ions are developed, and these positive get repelled. Even sometimes it could be attracted by the negative charges in the cloud, and these negative charges get attracted by this, and even if there is excess, because all these phenomena takes place in a negligible amount of time. Even if there is excess of negative charges, they go to the earth. Generally at the bottom there will be a big copper plate, it's all buried under the land. So, whatever the charges leaked here, if there is excess charge, that will go to the earth, and this lightning arrestor will be fixed on the top of a building. Lightning arrestor will be fixed on the, imagine this is a building, lightning arrestor will be fixed at the top of a building, and it will be taken out like this. Okay, it will be buried under the earth. There will be a copper plate actually, and generally the wire which is connected to the lightning arrestor will not have contact with the building. Maybe we can fix some insulators, maybe wood, we can fix wood here, or maybe some PVC like this, which can withstand heat or insulator. We can fix some insulator so that the current is not passed to the building. Through the lightning arrestor, the charge goes to the earth. Okay, it goes to the, because earth is a good observer. Earth is a good observer of current. So this is how lightning arrestor is working. When a charged cloud is coming close, to the, actually clouds, we know that the clouds are made up of water droplets, condensed water droplets, water molecules there. When they are moving fast, actually ionization takes place, and then they get charges. Sometimes at the bottom negative charges will be there, sometimes at the bottom or the top positive charges will be there. And when these clouds are coming closer, electrostatic induction takes place. Negatively charged cloud induces positive charges on the metallic pieces here, especially at the sharp points. And after that, corona discharge takes place, leakage of charges takes place. Even beyond that, if there is excess charges, that will be trapped to the earth. And even if we look at, even we have come across the topic, we have seen the topic Faraday's cage, isn't it? If you are inside a metallic sphere, a bus or car which is made up of metal, when there is a lightning strikes on the vehicle, if you are inside, nothing will happen because we are inside the just like a Faraday's cage. Even you could have seen in videos that for a plane also, when lightning strikes the plane, the charges will be leaked through the wings, the sharp points, sharp edges of the planes. The charges are leaked to the atmosphere. So this is how a lightning arrestor is working. Actually, this is lightning arrestor. This is not lightning absorber. This is not a lightning. This is not a lightning absorber. It is just arrestor. Okay, it diverts the current. Actually, we should maybe in future you should find a device, invent a device to trap the lightning, which is huge current, huge potential difference is there. We can collect it, we can use it productively. Actually, if you look at the average in the worldwide, many people die due to lightning. You could say that at least one person, at an average, at least one person is dying per day due to lightning. So when there is lightning, when we are going out, if it is heavily raining or if there is lightning and thunder, we should not stand under a tree. It is better to be inside the building. Generally, lightning strikes the tall building. We can be inside the building, that is safe. We should not stand under a tree. That's very, very important. Because trees conduct to earth, isn't it? Trees conduct to earth. So, tree will absorb. The lightning will reach the tree quickly. Van de Graaff generator, this generates huge amount of potential difference. 10 power 7 voltage of potential difference will be developed here. Whereas 10 power 4 here, 10 power 4 voltage, only around 10 power 4 voltage of potential difference is given. Whereas the metallic sphere, this develops 10 power 7 voltage, 10 power 7 voltage, very, very high potential difference will be developed there. See, this positive terminal is connected to a metallic comb A. Positive terminal is connected to metallic comb A. Metallic comb, this has sharp edges. You could see that it has sharp edges. So what happens? The concentration of positive charges will be more here. Okay, concentration of positive charges will be more here, and this is a belt. This is a belt made up of an insulator. This is a belt made up of insulator like silk. And there is a pulley. These two are pulleys, and this pulley is rotated with the help of an external motor. Therefore, the belt will be rotating continuously. What happens? The air molecules close to the belt air molecules close to the belt and the air molecule coming close to the comb here A, what happens that it get ionized. Ionization takes place. Ionization takes place here. So positive and negative ions will be developed there. Positive gets repelled. Positive gets repelled. The negative may get attracted by this. And the positive charges which are repelled, they stick with the belt. They stick with the belt, or they stick with the dust particles which are already there in the belt. So when the belt is, as the belt is rotating, as the belt is moving, the positive charges are also going along with the belt. They get stick to the belt actually. It goes like this, and here what happens? These positive charges induce negative charge here. In turn, it induces positive charge here. Due to electrostatic induction, this induces negative charges here. In turn, that induces positive charges here. So on the surface of the metallic sphere, positive charges are developed. And these negative charges are here, isn't it? Okay, and these negative charges may neutralize the positive charges which are coming here. And when the belt is descending, when the belt is coming down, the belt will not have no charge. The belt will not have any charge. It has no charge. The belt will not have any charge. It is left uncharged. There will be no charge. You could see that when the belt is going up, it has positive charges here. When the belt is coming down, no charges. There will be no charges when the belt is coming down. And also the positive charges which are here, that can be accelerated. Can increase the speed, isn't it? It's acceleration. Rate of change of velocity is acceleration, isn't it? Rate of change of velocity is acceleration. We can accelerate that so that its speed increases, and it goes and strikes a target for some other purpose, maybe for nuclear disintegration, or for some other purpose. The particles can be used. Okay. The positive ions, positrons, the positive ions, protons and deuterons can be used. The positive ions, protons and deuterons can be accelerated using Van de Graaff generator. The positive ions, protons and deuterons can be accelerated using Van de Graaff generator, but electrons cannot be accelerated. 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 Electrons cannot be accelerated because of relativistic variation of mass. Because when it is accelerated, its speed increases, and at that time its mass also varies. Its mass also varies. So electrons cannot be accelerated. Even by cyclotron, electrons cannot be accelerated because of relativistic variation of mass. This is the original model of Van de Graaff generator. Huge high potential will be developed there. Even if we touch that due to electrostatic induction, the hair will come up like this. Okay, it can be done in lab. So the working principle of Van de Graaff generator is electrostatic induction and action of points. Electrostatic induction and action of points is the working principle of Van de Graaff generator, and it has a big pillar. Actually, these two insulator. This pillar is made up of insulator, and big metallic sphere is kept there. Two combs A and B. Two pulleys are here, and this belt is rotated over these two pulleys, and this bottom pulley can be rotated with the help of external motor. The pulley is rotating. The belt is rotating over the pulleys. And the positive charges stick to the belt here, and the belt goes up. That induces charges. The resultant induction positive charges are on the sphere, and these positive charges can be taken out. This is used to accelerate the positive charges. The positive potential here is used to accelerate positive charges. Protons and deuterons can be accelerated. Electrons cannot be accelerated because when electron is accelerated, there is a relativistic variation of mass, so it cannot be accelerated. It must be an insulated pillar. It must be an insulated pillar. Okay. Okay, that's. Hope you understand these concepts, dear students. We expect your feedback. It could be appreciation, or even it could be criticism. Your feedback, your comments are most welcome. If you like, if you like our school YouTube channel, please subscribe. Convey to your friends also to watch this video. We hope these videos will be helpful for you to understand the concept. You can watch this video many times. Whenever you find time, you can watch these videos. We hope these videos will help you to understand the concepts better. Thank you for watching our school Vidya Lakshmi Metric Higher Secondary School YouTube channel. Please post your comments and subscribe. Thank you. Bye. See you. Thank you.